This is a moment of forgetfulness, according to what the Father has said today. I am a God who restores, I declare. The focus of my attention is currently on you and the situation you are in. Make it a deliberate decision in your heart that you must give me permission to guide you through a period of reinvention. The interior of you is where I am building, and I have created in the past. My creation has made your life more beautiful, and it is not tainted by the events of the past. Biological chance did not play a role in the formation of your being. I created you within myself, and at the time that was predetermined in the eternities, I poured my eternal substance into your unformed materialism, and your soul sprung into existence. On the drawing board of the eternities, where I fashioned the masterpiece that you are, each and every detail of your character and every gradation of your personality has its own design, form, and plan. Don't let the passage of time or your own personal history determine who you are. Do not let your shortcomings, whether they be sins, blunders, or mistakes, or the opinions of others, determine who you are or what you are capable of doing. Therefore, the Father says that you have not yet come. You have not yet reached your full potential. The uncovering of that which my hand has sculpted within you from the palette of my favor should give you the determination to refrain from passing judgment on the outcome before it is revealed. Each and every one of my love's pigments, each and every one of my favor's hues, and each and every shade of my goodness is being shown in the most subtle tones and the most prominent colors on the tapestry of your life that I am weaving and emblazoning across the span of your days. Enjoy the procedure to the fullest. Participate in the dance of cosmic creativity at the same time that the canvas continues to present itself to the artist. The process of beautification that I am bringing into your life requires that you leave behind those things that are in the past and simply offer yourself up voluntarily and with complete trust in the process. As if you were made of pure gold, you are emerging. As you offer yourself up and obey, cooperate, and yield to everything that I am doing in your person and in your life today, you are bringing my glory into manifestation, says the Father. The Father has revealed to us today that there will be times of difficulty, however, we need not be concerned about them. In times of struggle, my love and my favor will be with you and surrounding you in a way that is completely different from what you have experienced in the past. It is merely the occasion of establishing that tenacious confidence and trust in me that leads the desire that is at the deepest level of your heart to be made evident and come into reality when you are confronted with chastening circumstances. One way to measure the level of comfort that I am bringing into your life is to consider the degree of difficulty that you are now experiencing. It is the Father who says, I am with you. There is no way that I will ever abandon you. It is possible that the days of hardship are the enemy's plan to cause you harm, but my love and my sovereignty have co-opted the enemy's plan in order to strengthen your spiritual sinews and drive you to confront the challenge with abandon and joy, knowing that anything is possible. There is no limit to what the Father can accomplish. There is only one thing that is not possible, and that is the existence of a scenario in which everything would not be feasible in your life. Allow me to transform your challenging days into something that is filled with joy as you come to the realization that the threat posed by the adversary is nothing more than a comedy that is being performed in front of you, and that he genuinely believes he could hurt you in any way. The idea that the adversary will truly bring you to your knees is the source of the greatest amusement for the angels who are standing guard over you. I want you to look at things from my point of view, says the Father. Be conscious of the fact that I find you to be really beautiful. Get started on living out that identity, since that is the person you are at your core. When you are under pressure, the things that you pay attention to will influence whether you choose to shame yourself or define yourself according to my spirit when you take action. Pay attention to me. Take a look at my love. Be aware of my unwavering commitment. Adapt your actions to my goals. Respect and obey. Recognize that I am working to bring about your deliverance, and yield with me. According to what the Father has to say about it today, loving other people does not mean that you should let them treat you like a commodity. When we love others from the perspective of the kingdom, we love them according to my terms, not the terms of man. Pay attention to my voice whenever other people try to exert their will over you and influence you for their own purposes. Not only will I never fail to instruct and warn you, but I will also make sure that you are not mistreated by the self-centered agenda of another person. Pay attention to the sound of my voice. When the Syrophoenician woman arrived with her sick child, she insisted that I take action on her behalf. Her request for children's bread was made without any sense of responsibility on her part. The Father states that there is accountability in the kingdom that I bring. Listen to my voice, and when I tell you no, I want you to be a person who seeks the kingdom and a person who pleases the Father, even if other people do not understand. I want you to keep in mind, says the Father, that my fundamental essence is that of a Lord. I will never ask you to subject to unethical authority, blame, guilt, or manipulation. I will never require you to surrender to these kinds of influences. You will need to be willing to be misunderstood, accused, and despised by those who live in a victim mindset as a fortress created around their own self-interest. This is something that you will need to be willing to risk. Get used to saying no without feeling guilty about it. Learn to carry out the actions that I direct and advise you to carry out, even if doing so causes the chagrin of those individuals who had you in their sights in order to take advantage of and mistreat your generosity. It has nothing to do with dancing to the song that other people call or being a resource to alleviate their own refusal to select the yoke simple burden light that I have offered them. Loving with my love is not about either of those things. This is the kind of love that is mature and God-centered, and it is this kind of love that I am cultivating in you during this day. During this day, the Father instructs you to go out into the world and overwhelm the adversary with your gladness. Righteousness, peace, and joy are the hallmarks of my reign. The adversary will become a source of sustenance for you if you maintain your peace and joy. I will remove all that the adversary has planted in your life and turn it into a powder. At the same time, I will force him to drink the dregs of his own rebellion against you. In this way, your delight manifests itself. All of the ambitions that the adversary has against you are deflated by your joy. The adversary becomes exhausted as a result of your serenity, which causes his hands to hang down and his heart to sink. You are incredibly terrifying to the adversary because of your attitude of entitlement in my kingdom. Your contentment, your tranquility, and your sense of entitlement are what keep him up at night. Your arrogance has the effect of robbing the adversary of his initiative, causing him to eventually give up and throw in the towel. Today, you should go out into the world and use your patience and gladness to wear down the adversary. Embrace the current state of affairs and do not give up until the point where stagnation is replaced by transition. My promise will continue to be fulfilled until your baggage is transformed into luggage and you find yourself climbing into its fullness. Create a persona that is distinct from others. Lie the adversary down on his stomach. The opponent should be forced to take the position. In light of the fact that you are seated in heavenly realms in Christ, you should force the adversary to take position below you. If you take your words of faith and expectation, you can use them to manacle the hands of the opponent and shackle his feet. Take the curse that your adversary has placed upon you and use it to determine the outcome of his own life. The adversary will be compelled to take a prone position in front of me as a result of your authority in me. It is your share of the food. You pose a significant threat. Due to the fact that you pose such a threat to the domain of darkness, they have crossed over to the other side in order to avoid you. When the adversary sees you coming, his top objective is to avoid you by any means necessary. You are exactly like this. According to the Father, this is the manifestation of my favor with regard to your life. Your mission in life, according to what the Father has revealed to you today, is to bring paradise down to earth. It is your vocation and election to make my kindness known, and it is your responsibility to ensure that no one in your sphere of influence has the opportunity to avoid my goodness. In spite of the fact that they constantly make decisions and live their lives in a manner that is antithetical to my character, your purpose is to shower your love on everyone who comes your way until there is no doubt in their minds that they are experiencing the radical love of God. It is of the utmost importance that people turn away from their sins and repent. According to the Father, repentance is something that must come about, and it is the kind of repentance that is prompted by my goodness. It is not my wrath that causes mankind to repent, rather, it is my goodness that does so. It is therefore imperative that you refrain from using the words doom and gloom and dismay in your speech. No one has ever been altered by dismay. A life has never been changed by dread. It is impossible for gloom to bring my kingdom into someone's heart, since my kingdom is characterized by justice, peace, and joy. Therefore, the Father recommends that you refrain from letting the adversary to determine the course of action for your replies to people who are annoying, unloving, and disbelieving. There is no way to protect oneself from love. Why would you put yourself front and center in front of anyone who does not know me in any way other than love? There is no denying that love is the unstoppable, unconquerable, and completely unconquerable power in the world. This is not merely what I do, rather, it is who I am. Go out into the world and demonstrate love in a way that is not conditional. To love with the same love that I loved when I went to the cross, you should go forth and love. Specifically, this is the love that brings about the resurrection from the dead and the rebirth from death. This love is the one that places you in the skies, where you are sitting in my person on the throne as a principality and authority in the world. This, beloved, is the love that I offer to you, and the love that I want to give through you to a world that is falling more and deeper into my kingdom even as I speak. The Father has revealed to us today that the most fundamental lesson in the kingdom is the ability to triumph over adversity. In order to succeed, the first obstacle you need to conquer is yourself. It is not necessary for the adversary to even show up for the fight when you have learned to triumph over yourself. Do you realize that I have a wealth of resources, but the adversary has a strategy that is built on not having enough of them? Because of this, the most effective strategy employed by the adversary is to induce fear in you and prevent you from showing up for the battle. This is the battle that faith must fight for. The one and only positive aspect of any fight is the one that you end up winning. There is absolutely no positive aspect to losing. Because of this, there is no such thing as losing in the kingdom. You do not have a history of losing, and as a result, you are not destined to lose. When the adversary sees you, he will give up the struggle because he is aware that he does not possess the dread, intimidation, or horror to equal the trust that you have in me. What the Father is saying is, just show up. Come and be prepared to not engage in conflict with one another but rather to clean up the mess that I left behind in the resurrection. According to the Father, your weaponry and armament originate from the resurrection side of things, not the human side of things but the resurrection side. Yes, you are a human being, nevertheless, you are not only a human being. My throne is the source of the power that is bestowed upon you, and it comes from on high. For this reason, engaging in conflict with one another is such a waste of time. On the other hand, I have not requested that you battle the world. I gave my life for the sake of the world. To save the planet, I sacrificed my life. Because the best of heaven was sacrificed as a lamb for the sake of the world, you must understand that you are not obligated to fight against the world. Your resistance is being directed toward the team that is currently in the losing position, which is the realm of darkness, which does not possess the wisdom to withdraw from the field in the aftermath of Calvary. This is what the Father says, go forth. Try not to be frightened or intimidated by this. In my capacity as the Lord of Sabaoth, I am standing with you. In the same way that you stand with me, I will stand with you, and I will enable you to triumph in everything that you face. I am the God of hosts. As of now, the Father says, take a glance up. Take a moment to look up from the thick of the human situation and be aware that I am encircling you with my love and my favor. Each and every breath that you take is a gift from me that you have chosen to take. It is not the case that I have placed you on the ground and then let you to roam off without any supervision. Rather than simply checking in on you every once in a while to see how you are doing, I am doing more than that. At each and every second of each and every day, I am by your side. It is possible for me to correctly count the quantity of hairs that are on your head at any particular moment. These thoughts that I have for you are greater than the sands of the ocean or the stars that shine in the heavens. You have become the apple of my eye, the pupil of my eye. Here I am. The things that touch you and have an effect on you have an effect on me, since I am always aware of each and every instant and hour of your time spent on earth. Consequently, you should fight against the self-pity that leads to unbelief and grief that has no foundation in reality. You are not the only one. I am always a part of you. Each and every one of your days is recorded in my book. There is a plan and a purpose that I am working out and making available to you as you exercise yourself to yieldedness, obedience, and humility in everything that you do. There is a shift occurring presently. Change is something that can occur in every aspect of your life. Pray with your mouth alone. You are invited to come to me in order to make a petition, as I have made it possible for you to have a place at my altar, and the angels are ready to combine your prayers with the coals that are burning as fragrant incense in front of me. I will listen, and I will give a response. Come to me with a heart that is willing to adjust, change, and alter the course of your thoughts and planning. Listen to my voice and make the necessary adjustments. Be conscious of the fact that deliverance and relief are on the way, and they will be seen in your land. According to the Father, today you will receive a portion of multiplication. I work to multiply and divide in the earth, and I want you to know that you are currently experiencing a season of multiplication in your life. I fed hundreds of people by taking a young boy's lunch and giving it to them when they were hungry. In addition to breaking the bread and distributing it, I blessed it. Should you be willing to have your bread broken? You have made a request for my blessing, but the Father warns you to be ready because whatever I will bless, I will also break. You have made a request for the transfer, which corresponds to the distribution of the wealth, and it is a resource within your reach. Please be aware that this blessing is bestowed upon those individuals who choose to be broken bread and are willing to accept it. As a result, the Father advises you to get yourselves ready. You will not have to wait much longer for what you have requested, it is already upon you. Make the most of the challenge. Take the strain in stride. Having a willingness to press forward in apostolic violence is necessary because my kingdom is subject to violence, and those who are violent take it and grasp it by force. You are more than a conqueror, which is what the Father says to you today. The conflict that is going on around you is not going to subside. Considering that I never back down from a fight, it is not going to disappear anytime soon. For all intents and purposes, the location that you have designated as a battleground is actually a proving ground rather than a combat. This is the ground that I have chosen to demonstrate to you how powerful I am and how passionate I am about putting you over in every condition and situation that you come up against. The difficulty that you are currently experiencing is the ground that I have chosen to demonstrate to you. Because there are people in religious culture who have wrapped their identity up in fighting a battle that I already won 2,000 years ago, the Father says that you have to get this because there are people in religious culture The things that they consider to be conquest and victory are nothing more than picking over the bones of an adversary whom I defeated on the cross and triumphed over in the resurrection of Jesus Christ millennia ago. Let's get down to some genuine progress in your life and in the earth, says the Father, and let's see the kingdoms of this world become the kingdoms of your God and His Christ. Enough with the saber rattling, says the Father. I will begin with your own personal life as my beginning point. When you are having problems finding the motivation to get out of bed in the morning, I will not use you to knock down a stronghold. I will not use you. I want you to be aware of the fact that I am putting your foot in the neck of your adversary, just as Joshua did decades ago with the elders of Israel in the land that was given to them. If you want to see fear in the eyes of the opponent, you must see it. Do you have any idea what they are afraid of? Yes, you are aware of the fact that he is afraid, right? Is it possible that Satan received the concept of fear from somewhere else? I told him in Eden that the heel of the lady would crush his head, and that was the moment when it began to take root in his own emotional state. Since then, he has not been able to get any sleep. Do you have any idea what the adversary is terrified of? The fact that you are going to show up for the battle is cause for concern for him. He is highly successful in preventing my people from engaging in the conflict by the use of intimidation, misdirection, and confusion, but you are not intimidated, misdirected, or confused under any circumstances. Am I right? Without a doubt, you are not. I would like for you to comprehend that the entirety of your achievement in this cosmic conflict between good and evil, between the realm of light and the domain of darkness, is simply a matter of showing up. The Father says, just show up, and look to me. Come to me. You are going to be blown away and blessed by what is about to take place next. I am the teacher, but I do not always choose to teach you according to what the Father has said to me today. There are times when I don't want to be concerned with that, and all I want is for you to have pleasure in spending time while I am here. Would you be willing to simply accept it on faith and simply take life as it comes, reveling in the presence of the Lord? It is not always the case that my involvement in your life is about reconditioning and restating the academics of kingdom protocols. Come on now. There are moments, beloved, when all I desire is for you to be in my presence for a while. There will be periods of time in your life, possibly even years, in which I will provide you with the bread of heaven, and you will continue to rely on the power of that meal for a considerable amount of time without receiving any new revelation. The Father advises you to use caution in this regard, and you should avoid becoming like those individuals who believe they are members of the Deeper Life Club and who do not take a breath without making an effort to learn something new. Do you comprehend, says the Father, that profound wisdom is not derived from a scholarly comprehension of my word and my methods, but rather from simply being with me? Is it possible for us to simply hang out today? Is it necessary for me to pull a rabbit out of my hat and reveal anything to you or give you goosebumps in order to grab your attention, or is it possible for us to simply relax and spend some time with so that we can enjoy the wonder of my presence and the victory over all of your adversaries? According to the Father, I want you to spend your time with me in a way that is easy to worship and joyful in the simplicity of who I am expressing myself to be in your life from the inside out. Here is where the rivers that carry live water win their way. It is in this place that you will discover the profound wells of my spirit that are located within you. Let us now take our leave of all the musings of religious culture, which are continually trying to wear you down. Come now, let us leave. Simply take it easy, be fresh, and maintain your freshness in me. The Father asks his children, how does that sound? Are you content to simply walk with me and take pleasure in me, while also allowing me to take pleasure in you as we move along the path? This is your share, and as you progress in your ability to unwind and take it easy, you will be astounded by the improvements that will be made to your life as a direct result of your efforts. This day, the Father says, I have shown you my heart, now it is time for me to show you my mind. I have shared with you my passion. Now, I will share with you in a private setting exactly how I want to make my heart the single most influential factor in shaping your life and designing your future, and how I will do it. In addition to the cross, is there anything else that I can bring to your attention that will more persuasively convince you of the love that I have for you? In addition to this sacrifice that was made on Calvary, is there any further extent that I could go to in order to guarantee that I love you more than that? So, that's it, we've reached a consensus. Before I am able to attract your attention, it will no longer be necessary for me to pour out some vestige of an emotional experience upon you. At this point in time, you have reached a level of maturity that allows you to sit at my feet and discover exactly how I think, but also how I feel, and how I intend to guide you to your complete destiny. This is the time to ascend to a higher level, says the Father. There is a lot of fun to be had during recess, but the classroom of my spirit is where the things that make the earth my footstool and your playground are accomplished with. It is true that my thoughts are not the same as your thoughts, nonetheless, they are gradually becoming your thoughts. I would like for you to understand that you possess both the mind of the natural and the mind of the spirit, which is to say, my spirit, within you. It is impossible for your natural thinking to keep up with me. On the other hand, if you have the mind of the spirit within you, it is possible for you to think at the same rate that I do. According to the Father, every thought has a frequency, and with each and every one of my thoughts, there is an unlimited amount of power and an infinite capacity for organizing. In the event that you are willing to submit to the procedure, I will instruct you to think, make decisions, and act at a rate that the adversary will be unable to achieve. I am going to demonstrate to you how to break through the tape and achieve success even before the adversary approaches the starting blocks. In me, you are capable of a great deal more than you are now aware of. Now is the time to rise up and shake yourself out of the sluggishness of someone who is unwilling to learn. Because this is what it means to have a yoke that is easy and a burden that is light. Put on my mind and allow my heart to guide you. In today's message, the Father says, I am removing the false illusions that have been created by previous misunderstandings in your mind and in your life. A significant number of your aspirations and visions originated within your heart at a period of time when you were not accustomed to the level of intimacy that I am leading you to. It is now time to bring those goals and expectations of your spiritual youth out into the clear light of my clarity. I have revealed the deepest parts of my heart to you, and now it is time to bring them out as well. In all honesty, do you not believe that I am so limited in scope that I impose limitations on you based on what you once had the courage to believe me for? To a much greater extent, I am capable of. There is a great deal more that I am willing to accomplish for you in your life than you have ever imagined in the past. The Father states that you have reached a point of maturity at this point. At this very moment, I would like to extend an invitation to you. My particular invitation is for you to take a step forward into an entirely new experience of walking with me. As the Father says, I wish to cause you to experience heartburn. It was not the kind of pain that you take medication for, but rather the kind that the two people who were traveling to Emmaus experienced as I was walking alongside them. I would like to impart knowledge to you. The purpose of this is to draw a line through your personal history and demonstrate to you how, in previous seasons, you believed that I was absent when, in reality, I was completely present. I want to demonstrate to you that the events that occurred in your history that you found to be so perplexing were not, in fact, chaotic. Rather, they were nothing more than my hand moving at a depth and according to a scope that you were unable to measure. In reality, what I am trying to convey to you is that the Father wants you to know that you have witnessed my actions and witnessed my hand, but that I now want to demonstrate my methods to you, and even more than that, I want to teach you my ways. I want to teach you my methods so that you might teach others and lead them out of the obscurity and insecurity that you have personally experienced. I want you to be able to teach others after you have learned it. Therefore, get ready, proclaims the Father, since newness of life has found its way to you on this day, and newness of joy that surpasses all of your previous experiences. At this moment, the Father asks, do you require a favor? I have come into your life at this time to complete a task for you. I have nothing but good things in store for you, and I will continue to do so until the very end of time. Are you in need of a favor? Pray that your happiness will be complete. You just need to ask, and I will blow your mind with what comes next. Do you realize that in exchange for my favor, you will receive a favor? In point of fact, allow me to go ahead and do you a favor right now by informing you that I have daily favors stacked up for you from this moment until the end of eternity. My favor is something that is related with my ways and my deeds, as well as what I am currently saying and doing in your life right now. My favor is an expression of my intentionality, and they are both tied to my favor. Are you in need of a favor? Waiting for you. Yes, you should ask. Inquire. I will have to ask you, says the Father. You will have to ask me. Because you are afraid that you are asking for and seeking something that I do not want you to have, you have made the decision to refrain from asking. If you don't come clean about it, how am I ever going to be able to correct you? Inquire with me. Ask a wide range of questions. Inquire with a presumption. I would like for you to ask such a broad range of questions that you will end up covering all of the theological concepts and preconditions of a performance-based mentality. I want you to have the courage to accept that I am the one depicted in the scriptures as being. I have a dream that I am going to give you houses that you did not construct. You are drinking from vineyards that you did not plant, and I am dreaming about it. I have a dream in which you are gathering the harvest of something that you have never ever planted or watered. I am violating all of the rules that men have established for me as a boundary because they can't stand the idea of how willing I am to bless you. I am doing this because I adore blessing you so much that I am breaking all of the restrictions. According to the Father, I am a giver. Compared to the religious pygmies who are self-centered and have a narrow-minded mindset, I am a much more generous person. They want to talk you out of what the cross abundantly talks you into. To let you know that you are receiving special regard from my throne, I am bringing additional favor into your life. I am doing this so that you are aware of this. As the Father blesses you, I am indulging myself so that you will become extremely confident in who I am and what I am doing in your life. I am doing this so that you will grow confident in yourself.